the Honourable Member for Kootenay-Columbia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Right now, every generation is giving up a dream. The dream of owning a home, the dream of warm holidays, the dream of a secure retirement, the dream of not living paycheck to paycheck, and the dream of being able to afford heat and groceries for their family. The actions of the NDP Liberal coalition with this carbon tax has caused significant harm to Canadian farmers and consumers alike. This government has been making every effort to prevent farmers from receiving a carbon tax exemption for drying grain, barn heating, and other farm operations, and hardworking Canadians from heating their homes. Despite the fact that carbon tax on all forms of home heating has already been voted down by the Liberal Bloc coalition, the Liberals and NDP still plan to quadruple the carbon tax on farmers. This increase, 23%, will only lead to further increase in the cost of food for Canadians. It is clear that taxing the farmers who grow the food, as well as the truckers who transport it, will inevitably lead to higher prices for consumers. The Liberals' coalition actions have completely left Canadians out in the cold, and it is critical that steps are taken to support our farmers and ensure affordable food and heat for all Canadians. Madam Speaker, I'm not sure if this government fully understands the financial pinch that the majority of our country is in right now. Any of my constituents who can fly around on a private jet knows what it costs when they see the bill. When was the last time our Prime Minister saw, read, or paid a bill for private flights? I believe he's too far removed to keep this country going, and I feel the financial pressure that the small percentage increases in grocery prices can bear. Furthermore, Madam Speaker, the Liberal-appointed senators voted significantly to change Bill C-234, which aims to provide relief to farmers from this carbon tax. This will only make the situation worse for farmers who are already struggling to keep up with the rising costs of production. These appointed senators have gutted the bill before sending it back to the House of Commons, which means it will have to go through further amendments before it can be passed on for law. More red tape, more stopgaps, while this government fails to come up with solutions that don't just benefit themselves. We need to take action and ensure we can provide much-needed support for our farmers. The Parliamentary Budget Officer has released a report estimating C-234 will save Canadian farmers $1 billion by 2030. This will result in a reduction of food costs for Canadian families, many of whom are currently struggling to afford groceries. The bill highlights the importance of passing. The report highlights the importance of passing this bill to support agricultural industry and improve the financial well-being of Canadians. It's concerning to me, and should be a concern to everyone, that with this report, the Liberals are still against it. I would question the motive behind not wanting to reduce financial stress on Canadian citizens. Madam Speaker, it's time to stand up for our hardworking farmers and families. I've heard from many of my constituents in Kootenay-Columbia about the effect of the carbon tax on their everyday life. We're experiencing a 52% increase in monthly visits to the food banks. And I've also had reports of previous donors now becoming clients. The thought of this level of increase is something I never imagined we would be experiencing in Canada. Teresa in Wassa has recently moved into her car due to the continuous price increases. Alex in Cranbrook has 3 jobs to make ends meet for him and his wife. Richard in Creston was charged $39.25 for his natural gas with a $57 carbon tax fee, $57. And then that tax was taxed. Why are they implementing a tax and also taxing the tax? It looks like another way for the NDP Liberal government to line their pockets with our constituents' money so they can continue to overspend with their off-balance budget. This government goal seems to be testing how hard they can push Canadians to the financial breaking point. And Madam Speaker, I can tell you we're already there. Families are feeling a financial strain, and it's spilling into all areas of our lives. Julie, a senior, reported to me, she called me and said that she had a piece of toast and half an apple for breakfast. I said, half an apple? And she said, yeah, because she saves the other half for lunch. She couldn't remember the last time she had eaten meat. It is critical this government fully understands the appalling financial state they have put the country in. Our seniors have worked their younger adult lives to contribute to society and better this country. And their reward? Taxes upon taxes. and deciding which half of the apple to eat for their meal? This government's legacy is going to be its citizens choosing between heat or food to make ends meet. Atco Wood Products, a third-generation sawmill in my riding, produces wood veneer, wood chips, biomass, wood gardening supplies, posts, landscape ties, has reported they pay $400,000 in 2023 for carbon tax. In 2030, it will be at $1.2 million. The family-owned and run business gives back and provides excellent resources to our community and the country. They are successful in sustainable forest management on both Crown and private lands by thorough planning and responsible practices. It's hard to fathom that the tax that was meant to be an incentive to cut emissions has now become a noose for the businesses providing essential products for our citizens. What's really interesting is the carbon tax, the tax on the carbon tax. This year, that's $500 million, rising to $1 billion in 2030, and a total tax grab of $6.23 billion over the next 8 years. It's concerning to see the failure of the NDP Liberal government in promoting the Canada LNG to the European Union. Instead, the EU had to fund Russia's war machine, which is not a sustainable solution. As a country with the most ethical leader in production energy, it's disappointing to see no action being taken. That is a missed opportunity for Canada to promote its clean energy resources on a global stage. We urge the government to take immediate action in promoting Canadian LNG to the European Union. I'm deeply concerned about the rising unaffordability in Canada, which is causing many Canadians to lose their homes and contributing to homelessness. This crisis has had a devastating impact on individuals, families, and communities across the country. Further to that, the homelessness crisis is directly contributing to the ever-expanding opioid crisis, as many individuals homeless are turning to drugs to cope. Due to the increase in opioid users, business owners are reporting damages to their stores and property, resulting them to be no longer contributing to the community in ways they need to. We need to stop the crime. This trickle effect directly takes away from the community, since business owners are now putting money back into repairs, not into the community. As I've mentioned, our food banks are seeing results of this effect. It's a complex issue that requires attention from all levels of government, and this government needs to take immediate action to address the root cause of this unaffordability overtaxing. Madam Speaker, Conservatives believe that it's critical to support our farmers and our families by ensuring that they are not burdened with additional taxes. Adding a frivolous tax to make up for the government's budgetary mismanagement is downright shameful and needs to stop. We need to fix the budget. We will continue to fight for the elimination of the tax on everything, for everyone, for good. We believe Canadians should be able to keep more of their hard-earned money and not be burdened by the unnecessary taxes. We believe the red tape on the housing industry preventing homes from being built needs to stop. We need to fix the homes. We believe that the dream of owning a home, going to a warm holiday, having a secure retirement, not living paycheck to paycheck, should not be a dream at all. It should be a reality. Overtaxing, taking away from our Canadian citizens. Our hardworking constituents should not be weighed down by the necessary by having multiple jobs or choosing heat or food. Madam Speaker, we need to axe the tax. Thank you.